Margaret Qualley is truly having a moment right now, and it's about time she got the recognition she deserves. Her latest film, The Substance, is making waves worldwide. It's a body horror thriller about an A-list star who tries a shady anti-aging drug with some terrifying side effects. It's the kind of movie that really sticks with you.
Have you ever dreamt of a better version of yourself? Younger, more beautiful, more perfect.
Margaret's and Demi's performances are already getting tons of praise, but they are not the only ones who left us speechless. Enter Dennis Quaid as Harvey, the movie's downright revolting villain. He plays a sleazy TV boss with some misogynistic and creepy views. But here's the real horror show. It's not the body horror scenes. It's watching Dennis Quaid eat shrimp. Yep, you read that right.
People just love that. I mean, that's just the way it is.
So, Quaid definitely brought his A-game in the worst and most unforgettable way possible. But here's a twist you might not know. Margaret Qualley actually knew Dennis Quaid long before The Substance. Before we spill all the tea, stick around. We'll get to it later in this video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. In The Substance, Margaret takes on the role of Sue, a younger clone of Demi Moore's character, Elizabeth Sparkle. And let me tell you, it's an intense part. Sue is hyper-sexualized and provocative, a big change from the roles Margaret usually picks.
I'm Sue.
She admitted, "It's something I've never really done. I've purposely gone in the opposite direction in my career."
Hey guys, have a good day.
Playing Sue wasn't easy, but Margaret didn't shy away from the challenge. She told people that the movie was way out of her comfort zone. And honestly, with such a wild storyline, it's easy to see why.
Being inside of it for a long time was a lot, but I think that it works quite well.
It's not just about the shock factor, though. Margaret was very intentional about how the nudity and raw scenes served the story. "It's a road you have to go down to bring this to life," she explained. And I was excited about that challenge.
I think we both knew the level of vulnerability that was there, and I think in those particular moments, I think we got through it, but also we had a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
And speaking of challenges, the dance sequences almost threw her off. Surrounded by experts, she was the only one still learning the choreography, and it got to her. "I went to the bathroom and started sobbing," she admitted, but she pulled herself together and nailed it. That's the kind of resilience we love to see.
How liberating was it to film?
For me, it was liberating to finish.
Yeah.
All right, now let's rewind a bit to Margaret's childhood and her first run-in with Dennis Quaid. And here's where it gets interesting. Margaret's mom? It's none other than Andie MacDowell. Yep, the legendary star from Groundhog Day and 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I mean, talent definitely runs in this family.
You know what? And also your mom, Andie, I mean, she is defining beauty in Hollywood. She's wearing the grays, looking beautiful as ever. Do you get that from your mom, that courage?
I hope so. I mean, watch the movie, you'll see. Yeah.
Margaret's childhood started off in the quiet, wide-open spaces of Montana, where she was the youngest of 3 siblings. But life soon took her across the country to Asheville, North Carolina, an artsy city with a different vibe altogether.
Was it important to you to inject a little southernness into your daughters?
I think so. I do.
When Margaret was just 4 years old, her parents, Andie MacDowell and Paul Qualley, separated. While many kids might have reacted to a divorce with confusion or anger, Margaret's response was one of hope and longing, especially when it came to her parents getting back together. She had a big soft spot for the 1998 remake of The Parent Trap, watching it over and over, and even encouraged her mom to watch it in the hopes it would inspire a reunion.
So I would, kind of continuously be like, "Hey, guys, so, I don't know if you've seen The Parent Trap, but things turned out pretty great for them, right?"
But life isn't a movie, right? When Margaret was about 6, her mom came home from filming with exciting news. "You know how much you loved The Parent Trap?" she asked Margaret. Excited, Margaret said, "Yeah." But instead of hearing that her parents were reuniting, in walked Dennis Quaid, the Parent Trap's dad.
You really misunderstood. You missed the mark here, and I felt like I'd made this happen. I felt like I'd ruined my life, my parents' life.
And to top it off, he was wearing the red leather pants. So what did she do? She bluntly told him, "Your pants are stupid," and then refused to speak to him again. Kids sure don't hold back, do they?
Your mum just started dating Dennis Quaid.
He started dating Dennis Quaid, and
wow,
it was horrible, and I was sure that it was all my fault, and I wished this into fruition, and I took complete responsibility.
The couple would soon break up, but fast forward a couple of decades, and Margaret and Quaid found themselves working together on The Substance. And guess what? They totally hit it off.
It has to be
Dennis
Quaid. It's not us.
Now, behind all her success, Margaret owes a lot to the unwavering support of her mom. Andie MacDowell has always given her daughter the freedom to follow her dreams. "She gave me permission to do whatever I wanted," Margaret said. And that kind of encouragement clearly made all the difference.
If it had been in some child that I knew didn't have the wisdom to make good decisions, I wouldn't have allowed her to do it, but she's very wise.
Well, thank you.
Andie herself grew up in a more conservative family, often facing judgment for her choices, so she made sure to offer Margaret the kind of non-judgmental support she didn't always receive. "She was really non-judgmental about my choices," Margaret shared, and that trust has clearly shaped their bond. It's no surprise then that the two teamed up for the Netflix drama Made, where they portrayed a mother-daughter duo. And if you've seen it, you know they were phenomenal. Margaret plays Alex, a single mom rebuilding her life after escaping an abusive relationship, while Andie plays her eccentric, free-spirited mother, Paula.
I'm Alex. I'm trying to piece together how I got here. My mom is undiagnosed bipolar, and she's MIA right now.
Now it was actually Margaret's idea to cast her mom in the role.
But I called Margot Robbie, who's one of the producers on this, and she was ecstatic and loved the idea. And within a couple of days, my mom got the offer, and then I just had to cross my fingers and hope that she would actually want to do it. And then she was stuck with me for 9 months, so it was great.
And Andie was thrilled to share the screen with her daughter.
My heart just swelled that she wanted me to play this character.
They spent nearly 9 months filming on Vancouver Island, and Andie was able to look after her daughter in a way she hadn't done in years. "I cooked her soup on the weekends," Andie shared.
Just chopping vegetables and cooking for someone, nurturing someone. There's great beauty to that. So I got to do that on the weekends.
It's so heartwarming to see this level of support and love between them, both on and off screen. Andie's openness about her own tough childhood has also inspired Margaret. MacDowell has spoken candidly about her mother's battle with mental illness and alcoholism, experiences that left a lasting impact on her.
I grew up with a mother that suffered a lot, and I know it had resonated in my personality.
Despite the challenges, she's used those experiences to guide her own parenting, creating a close-knit relationship with Margaret. "We talk about everything," Andie said. "There's no secrets."
I loved when she screamed at me, "Rawr!" Things like that. I mean, we're just so comfortable with each other.
It's no wonder Margaret wanted to share the screen with her mom. And after seeing them together in Made, we can only hope it's the first of many collaborations between this talented duo. Margaret summed it up perfectly. "I've always wanted to work with my mom. It just struck me that this would be a really special opportunity." And from the looks of it, she was absolutely right.
I was so happy to work with my daughter.
So, Margaret Qualley knows how to take risks. From the intense scenes in The Substance to sharing the screen with her mom in Made. But what about you? Have you watched either of these yet? And how do you feel about Margaret and Andie's dynamic? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.